We now continue my Channel 7 Spotlight interview with Dr. Thanedar on WXYZ.com. And welcome back to Spotlight. You mentioned taxes. Are there any taxes that you would roll back that have been created under this current administration? Because on your webpage, you talk about corporate welfare. Has the business community gotten too many tax breaks?
I think so.
What would you roll back?
I think we need to make sure that corporations pay their fair share, especially fixing the roads and infrastructure. I would like to see them pay their fair share.
So another tax on the business community?
Absolutely. Okay. You know, the business, because corporations don't pay their fair share of taxes in our state. They get a ton of incentives. And if you look at, we are still 300,000 jobs shy if you compare to the time prior to the recession. So all of these tax incentives that Rick Snyder and the Republicans have given to the corporations hasn't created enough jobs in our state. What I want to do is bring the focus back into entrepreneurship.
Right. I'm sorry, speaking of entrepreneurship, and you've been an entrepreneur, still are an entrepreneur, how will you create jobs? And is it the role of government or is it the role of the private sector to create jobs?
I think we need to give a helping hand to the private sector. So what I want to do is I want to inspire the young people to not just ask for a job, but create their own financial future. And that means training them in business skills, giving them micro loans, having incubators all over Michigan.
So you would support an organization like Grow Michigan that has worked with the Michigan Strategic Fund?
Absolutely, and places like TechTown. TechTown was where I announced my candidacy. So I want to encourage young people to stay in Michigan. So once they graduate, I want to, if they stay in Michigan and work in Michigan, then their college debt will be forgiven over time. And if after graduation, if they stay in Michigan and start a business and create jobs, then their college debt will be forgiven even faster. So I want to focus more on small business, entrepreneurship, startup culture, as opposed to giving money to companies like Amazon or Google. They don't need our money. We need to have homegrown business people. We need to have assist small businesses which create more than 60% of our jobs.
As governor, you would work with the chamber and other business people to take trade missions outside of our country?
I will, on a limited basis.
All right, is there any particular country that you'd like to go to first? Do you think it would be a great opportunity?
Well, our governor has gone to China, our governor has gone to Japan, but my focus isn't going to be so much on the Japanese companies and the Chinese companies. My focus is going to be more on the Michigan companies. I want to focus on Michiganders, and I want to give them the skill set. I want to give them the micro loans and the capital. I want to give them the mentorship. I want to encourage a entrepreneurial culture right here in Michigan. If we do that, they will have the loyalty for Michigan. These foreign companies will not have the loyalty that our own homegrown businesses will have.
Very quickly, yes or no, would you go to China?
A limited basis, yes, but that's not my focus.
Okay. Agriculture. It is the #2 revenue generator for this state. What will you do for farmers?
Well, most of the farmers are small business people, and they have the same issues as other small business people. And I want to make sure that their product is exported. They have an ability to compete on a worldwide basis. I want to see more of Michigan's farm products exported. I want to provide them access to water, for example. So when they have the wells and water supply in their own land, it is their water, and we should not be taxing them. We should not be charging them for that water. So I will work with Michigan farmers, and I will provide them the same facilities as I would provide to other small businesses.
All right, we need to slip in another break. We'll hurry right back with some final questions and answers. Stay with us. Michigan is a big tourism state,
Yes.
especially the northern part of Michigan. Have you had a chance to talk to people that are in that business and find out what they want and what you can do?
Absolutely. One of the things that hurt us is the Flint crisis. Now we are sitting on world supply, what, 20% of world supply of fresh water. And it is a shame that we cannot provide clean water to our residents. What happened in Flint was a shame. The state was wrong in doing that, and that has impacted Michigan's image. I want to fix that. I want to get again renewed interest. I want to double the budget for Michigan tourism, because we are a beautiful state and we need to promote that industry, and we need those revenues coming from Michigan tourism.
You'd be a big supporter of Pure Michigan?
Absolutely.
Last time I talked with the mayor of Mackinac, who's been mayor there for life, she was very concerned about the Enbridge pipeline.
Yes.
And said if something happened there, that it would destroy tourism on Mackinac Island and every place else. If elected governor, will you shut that pipeline down for good?
I look at that Enbridge Line 5 as a ticking time bomb. I'm a scientist, I'm a PhD chemist, and I've seen photographs of the coating and the layers being peeled off. And under the currents, it could be a very dangerous situation, and we cannot afford to have Line 5. They have broken our easement with our state, and we have every right to shut down Enbridge Line 5, and that's what I would do as a governor.
On your website, you talk about transparency.
Yes.
A lot of concern about the Freedom of Information Act and whether or not it should be expanded to include both the governor's office as well as the legislature.
Absolutely.
Will you sign that legislation? Will
you
push for that legislation?
I will push for that legislature, and I will set an example. I will start that with my office. I will unilaterally make governor's office subject to freedom of information. I have lived a very ethical life. I have lived a very transparent life. You can see the book that I wrote about my life, my memoirs, has everything about me, what happened to me, how I dealt with things, the good things, the bad things in my life. So that's how I will be as a governor. Because a governor is a servant. We hire him or her to take care of our state, and we need to know what the governor is doing, who is he meeting, what kind of sweetheart deals are being offered, where is he traveling. The people of Michigan has a right to know, and I will run a very transparent government, and people would know where I am, what I am doing. My emails would be accessible to the people of Michigan, and I will run a very open, honest, and ethical government.
You just opened an campaign office in the city of Detroit. Mayor Mike Duggan is the current mayor. He has thrown his public support to Gretchen Whitmer, one of your opponents. But yet you've got a meeting coming up with Mr. Duggan. Who requested the meeting, you or the mayor?
I did. I did. Look,
and he was willing to meet with you?
He's willing to meet.
Even in lieu of his support of Ms. Whitmer?
Well, Detroit is very important. It is our biggest city. There are a lot of issues that I am concerned about, and I'm sure the mayor is concerned about. And I want to work hand in hand with the mayor and the local governments in Detroit, and I want to make things better. I've seen a lot of prosperity in downtown Detroit, but as you walk away into the neighborhood, not much has changed.
So you'd be a strong proponent of supporting the urban areas of this state, whether it's Detroit or it's Grand Rapids or it's Kalamazoo?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the emergency manager law has hurt Detroit, hurt Flint, and many of the impoverished areas. I want to repeal the emergency manager law. I want to provide revenues to cities and counties based on the need basis, not on zip codes. And so I will be very concerned. And so I want to create opportunities in the neighborhood. I want to have businesses come into the neighborhoods. For that to happen, we need to fix public schools. Many of our public schools in the neighborhood need help, need resources. We need to put more money into education, because I want to be the education governor, because education helped me come out of poverty. And there's too many people today where education is not accessible. And I want to make education accessible, affordable, just like I want to make healthcare accessible and affordable.
Quick final question. Oftentimes, whether or not people vote for a candidate really just depends on how they feel about them on a personal level. When you aren't campaigning, when you aren't out there on the policy stump, what is it that you and your wife do just for entertainment?
Well, you know, she and I take walks in the neighborhood. We do that a lot. We entertain. We have friends come over. Family, certainly I have 2 boys. They are 29 and 25 years old. Our grandson Kai is 15 months old. Okay. So when you get a chance, we spend time with the family.
You get to do a little spoiling.
Exactly.
All right, Mr. Thanedar, thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah.
Good luck on the campaign trail.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll see where this all goes.